Hi, this is Chrissy Incognito, and welcome to another episode of my show. Now, you might be wondering why I'm incognito. This is my alter ego that can say things that I cannot otherwise say unless I was incognito. So, thank you for returning. In order to understand more about this episode, please view the previous episodes. Happy listening. So we used to send, I don't even know if this exists anymore, 123 greeting, I think it's .com. This is not promotion, but go look at it. We used to always send letters to cards to each other via email, like probably like 5 times a week. So we were big users of it. And so this is at some point, it says, I received an alert this morning from 123 greeting. Guess we are still linked somehow. This is me. I was pretty annoyed to see you were in my email once again, but the alert was about your engagement for this month. So I temporarily unblocked you on Facebook, and there it was. What's her face looking for wedding photographers and wearing her engagement ring? Wow, I guess everything is perfect and harmonious. My biggest regret was wasting 5 years on you, but even bigger regret is no one ever told me you were capable of faking an entire relationship, just like you're faking it with her. All right, this is in the middle of our fight. I should really do her a favor and send her the transcripts from our last 10 email. Might save her the headache you put me through. After all, if you're in your love with her is so real and so strong, I'm sure you can weather this storm. Happy anniversary, right? So this was somewhere in the middle. I'm trying to see the beginning. Okay. So it was a disaster, and I was very pleased in it being a disaster, because um we really did have a really amazing relationship. So he so this is from him to me. I'm sorry it took so long to write back. My mom had eye surgery. Everything has been crazy. She's fine though. I noticed you blocked me on email. That's fine. But I figured I'd send this email to you. He must have used another email. Um, Don't worry about blocking me again. I won't disturb you. I think the reason I can't seem to give you a real answer is I don't understand either. So if you don't understand your own motives, this is how I feel. Maybe you shouldn't be making decisions. I don't know what happened. When this all started, I felt so guilty, dirty, even though you were justifiably angry and so upset with me. And the fighting and the yelling and everything um, it started, and instead of manning through it, it just distanced myself further and further, convincing myself it was totally ruined. Yeah, that was his mindset, because that's his mother. Everything has to be perfect. I I still don't understand it, why I ran away. I sit here in my office with the piano music playing on the radio, and I think back to our tender relationship, and I can't for the life of me figure out why I would have ever thought about hurting you. Like I had to be possessed or something, because who does that? So at some point, I kept saying to him, because this was going back and forth and back and forth. First of all, it's all pity. Poor me, poor me, poor me. Um, Kind of not responsible, because I don't know, what possessed me to act like that. Um, and then I kept saying to him, "You're sorry you hurt me. You don't seem to be sorry for losing me." I don't think he understood, the difference. I mean, there's 40, 50-year-old guys that don't understand the difference. So part of it can be his age, but part of it is I just don't think he has that kind of sophistication, because he doesn't have that kind of experience. And he really won't ever, because it's all too much for him. But that's a whole different thing. Um, you call me a lot of really bad things in these past several emails, and I went along agreeing with you. But no, I'm not an evil person. I'm a good son, a good brother. I work hard, deal with a lot of responsibility, and keep a level head through a lot of nonsense I put up with. Yeah, that was mainly her. Okay, well, nobody told you to, and I knew he was not going to leave her. I knew it did, like, the only way he would leave her is if, like, she was hauled off to jail or something like that. I knew he was never gonna leave her. He want this represent and I kept saying to him, "This you leave me for a real piece of shit relationship, a piece of shit girl, okay? You can't even explain why. This represented something to him. I have no idea what. I don't think he even knows, which again, my saying is if you don't understand what you're doing, maybe you shouldn't be doing it. So he's trying to say, and I kept on saying, "Look, you're not capable of loving." He kept thinking I was calling him evil. And I'm like, "You're not getting it." I was like, "No." I was like, "That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that your love is shallow and it doesn't exist and it doesn't amount to much. Not that you aren't a caring person, but you are incapable of the love that you so profess to me. You professed all of that crap to me, really believing it." So let's go on. Yes, I was okay, so I'm not going to keep berating myself into the ground. Well, whatever. No, let her do it. So I was those horrible things when I left you, but before I made that mistake, I was a good boyfriend. So this is and that's his mother talking. "You were always a good boyfriend. Don't let her guilt you. Don't let." Yeah, I know. I can hear it right now. So this is the thing. He never admits that she was the mistake. She never says, "Was the biggest mistake of my life." And only the thing bigger than that mistake was losing you. He never even remotely came close to it. And anytime I thought he did, I misinterpreted the entire relationship and got even more pissed because when I read it, I was like, "You're not even saying what you should be saying." Okay. No, I'm not perfect, still immature in ways, which he was never immature. But I never minded going um, to your work with you and helping you out. You can say I didn't take you on real vacations, which he didn't. Um, because he started taking her on real vacations, like a cruise, like here and there. Like, I didn't get any of that. I didn't care about getting any of that. It was just the fact that she threatens to leave you high and dry all alone, which you really should be to figure out what the hell is going on in your brain. And you're like, "Oh, okay, I'll do that. I'll do that." I never knew he was such a fucking pussy. Like, I didn't know that. I knew he was very compliant and very agreeable and very responsible, but I thought if this much of our relationship went bad, he would have been, like, out the door. Later on, that's what I thought. Um, so he says, "We shared some really good times together, and maybe it was simply that that's what made it special. We didn't have to eat anywhere fancy or travel far. If any of those feelings were fake, none of those moments would have been. No, they were real for me." And I said that to him at one time. I made a relationship look easy because I steered everything. I made sure see, I made sure you had what you needed, what you wanted to do, how you needed it. I was the one controlling that part of the relationship. So I made it look really easy. And I told him that. I was like, "Yeah, relationship not without me, I had to be a bitch. Not without me doesn't go too well, does it?" And I said, "Because I made it easy. I did everything to make that relationship smooth. And obviously, you're not capable of it, or you would have continued to do it in this joke of a relationship. Something went wrong with me later. I come to the conclusion that I was like a junkie for new experiences." And I said that to him. I said, "Once this passes," I said, I didn't say it this calmly. By letting things settle in my head, I convinced myself leaving was an option when everything fell apart. And all I did was feed that thought like an addiction. And his mother would say, he's like a dog with a bone. He won't let go of things. It was always like non-incidental thing. So I never thought it would come to this. Hindsight is 2020. You can't glue and I can hear his mother saying this. Can't glue things back together that was shattered. I'm not sending this to re-anger you or make excuses. I'm just trying to give you some form of an answer because yes, the bad blood is difficult. It's like an alternative reality of everything that wasn't now is. You don't need to respond to this. I just didn't want to leave an email to you unanswered. I won't bother you again. I know it means nothing to you. Then he's like, "Thanks for everything." Like I was some cashier that went above and beyond her job to get what he needed. Okay. Yeah, I must be berating him because at this point he goes, "You're right. I was probably like um good luck trying to find happiness with that one, with that bimbo." And I said, and so he says to me, "You're right. I'll never be happy again." I'm not going to use her name. Bimbo does nothing but play with my mind and make me feel like worthless shit every day. I threw away the only thing that ever made me happy. I can't find a therapist who takes my insurance, who is taking new patients. The happiest days of my life are over at the ripe old age of 26, and I have no one or nowhere to turn to and can only remember happiness in my memories. So I realized he loved feeling sorry for himself. It wasn't outright, but it was enough to warrant reassurance.